Hello and welcome to January Class in a Box. I am Danny from Danny Design Studio, and today, or this month, we are going to be learning all about acetate. And they're called window sheets in the actual annual catalogue, but we're going to be making a matching card and box. We're going to be making this split card, acetate split card, and this little shaker card. So that's 4 projects. We're going to be using the country bouquet and the punch. So just to say that the country bouquet, if you've ordered it, is a 2-step stamping, and we'll go through that shortly and what that means. The other thing is the punch, with the papers that go with it, is really handy because these are one of the papers that are in the suite, and if you turn your punch around, you will find that that cuts it exactly, and so you can do loads and loads of hearts and leaves, and this is my little pile here that I've got ready to go and ready to stick on cards as and when I need it. So let's get started. So a few things to say about acetate, and that is that when using acetate to stick down, the best thing to do, the best glue to use, is either your Stamp and Seal or tear and tape, which is in the annual catalogue. So this is the wet glue. It will not work with the wet glue. It'll just make a splodge and a mess. The other thing is you can actually you can actually heat emboss on it. If you wanted to heat emboss, you can use in the Stampin' Up heat embossing tool. There's 1 and 2 settings, so if you just use the first setting, oh yes, I thought you'd gone off then. If you use the first setting, that's probably the best, because otherwise the whole thing can melt. So let me just put that away. Now the first card that we're going to be doing is this one, and it's fairly straightforward. Now I have actually, in your boxes, just to let you know that you've got your box, you've got all your little envelopes that look like this in little sort of paper packets. You've then got, at the base of your box, you've got extra card, and then you've got 2 lots of 6x12 acetate, and you can see I've cut into mine already. So I have cut the acetate already according to the dimensions that I put on your little tutorial. Now then we are going to take card 1 and open it. Card 1 packet, open it, and you have got all the little bits are in your envelope. Okay, so you've got a piece of DSP, you've got some other little bits in here, you've got a couple of discs, leaves, and that's your envelope. So you've got these little bits as well. So what we're going to do is make up our little card. So this one will need to be cut, and I'm going to cut all my pieces first. So the inside back layer is 14.9 by 10.5. I'm going to cut that down 10.5. You've got a little bit of scrap there. So I've cut my white back layer as well. Let me just check that it's the right size. Yep. So then I've got my other little bits and pieces that I will assemble now. So that is my back panel that I'm going to just stick down. So I'm going to use Stamp and Seal because I think it's just quicker. Now you have to be careful though when you do it, because you've got to be right first time when you're sticking it down and happy with it. So when you cut your acetate, just make sure you crease it really well, because it's a thicker, it is a card still. Acetate is still a type of card, but needs a lot more burnishing. So there we go. So that's that bit done. Then if you follow my, I've got to follow my own card. I'm going to stick that on the top there. And for ease, I'm just going to keep to the Stamp and Seal. And then got a bit of excess here, so I'm just going to chop that. So you can see, I don't know whether you can see this. See, I don't know whether it's showing up on camera a bit. So you can see through it. That's the thing. So you want to get rid of that because you want a nice finish. So I have got this piece that I'm going to stick on the back so that you don't see it, and also I can put my sentiment there. So I just need to line it up. There are times when you measure it and it's sort of still not accurate. That's not too bad. If it was an excess, I would just cut it with my scissors. So my card is building up. I've got these two discs. One is going to go on the back and one is going to go on the front. So, and looking at that, I have got a little sentiment there. And I think I am going to say the same thing. Just wanted to say, I think. So I did that in navy blue, and I think I'm going to stick to navy blue. So that's Night of Navy. And I'm going to stick that because the heart is at the top. I'm going to stamp that on the lower half of the disc. There we go. Clean that and put it away before I lose it. Put this away before I put my fingers in it. And I'm not going to put with love, I just want to have this as a little note card. So the first thing I'm going to do is put that little border, flowery border down there. I'm going to probably put that there so I don't stick it down to the lower part of the card. And then cut the excess off. Now this bit you can see a little bit. I don't know whether, yeah, it's showing up on camera a bit. You can see a little bit, but because it's, people are not going to be looking underneath, really, not, I think it's acceptable to not have a strip. If you wanted to, you could have another little strip on there. But for time, I am not going to do that for this one, on this occasion. So then I'm going to put my little disc on there, back side, I want to cover that up. So I wanted to put the same disc on the other side, trying not to overlap at all, because otherwise the red will show through. It does show through a little bit, but because there's red in there, it's not so bad. But if I was doing this not so much of a hurry, I might have been a bit more careful, but it's only a tiny little bit. So then you're going to build your little hearts up. This one I'm going to, oh no, I put this on dimensionals. Let's put this on dimensionals. Let me get the dimensionals. So obviously, if I was putting this in the post, I'd only put one lot of dimensionals, and I think I probably will do that actually. In my sample card I did 2 lots, but I think, so I'm only putting glue on one side of the heart because I'm going to do it at an angle like that. And then these two are just going to be stuck underneath. Wherever you think it would be nice. So I think I will just do it like that. So that's your first card sorted. So where you write will be on the back. Okay, so that's your acetate card. Put that there. So then we're going to make the matching box. So I have already, in your little paper envelopes, I've already cut this out for you. And you've got all the little bits here. So you've got a piece of ribbon, you've got this little heart, you've got that heart, and you've got a couple of leaves. I'm going to put that to one side. So this has already been scored and the little aperture has been cut for you. So let's do the base of the box and cut that. So the base of the box, if you grab inside your actual box that you've got from me, you've got a post-it note that says thick basic white, slightly thicker than the normal white that we would have. So it just gives it a little bit of extra strength. So we're going to cut this. Just need to see my measurements. Let me have a look. So the gingham top we have done, and it's 19.9, so it's slightly under 20. So 19.9 by 19.9, and then you're going to score at 5.5 on all 4 sides. Now that 19.9 is because you want the top to be slightly bigger, the top of the box to be slightly bigger, and the base of your box to be slightly smaller, so that it will fit nice and snug. It is a snug fit, but it works. So we've then got that and we've got that. We'll burnish this one as well. while we've got the bone folder out. So that's that one. Now before I forget, let us cut the acetate to go in there. And the acetate, you have a little bit of acetate left over from the first project. So this is going to measure 8.9 by 8.9. So I'm going to cut that. It might be slightly, that's slipped slightly. So there. So before we put our top together, that is just going to fit nicely into there. So I'm going to put a little bit of Stamp and Seal all the way round. I'm aware I can get my little mat, can't find it, somewhere. There it is. This mat is so handy, silicone mat, just so that the glue, if it goes on here, it will not stick to it, whereas it does stick to my paper, and then it's quite hard to, everything gets to stick on it. So I'm sort of run some of that quite thinly, because you don't want to get it coming through onto the open bit and the aperture bit. So there we go. So let's do the top first. Let's cut away, start cutting. So we've got these 4 little squares here. We're going to cut into that, and then we're going to make the top of our box. So we're going to cut straight up that line and then taper in a little bit, just so that it is easier when we put it all together. And you do the same on all 4 sides. Right, so there, now I use my wet glue, because this is where I need the wiggle room. I'm just going to put that up and let that meat into the middle. Give it a few seconds, and it will, with this glue, this Tombow glue is very good, and it will take a few seconds and it's dry. I don't like making boxes with Stamp and Seal or the Stamp and Seal Plus, because you have to get it right first time. So there we go, that's the lid of our box. Then we're gonna, this is the base, so let's do exactly the same. This is a little bit sturdier, so you cut up to the first score line and then cut in slightly up to the first score line, turn it around, do exactly the same. This cutting of the box, you need some really nice clean cut along here, because you're going to see that on the outside of the box. So you need to have a really good clean cut. You can use smaller scissors if you want to, but I like to have it in one full sort of cut so that it's not jagged. So then you're left with something like this, and you're going to do exactly the same. You're going to put glue of your preference on all 4 corners, all 4 squares, and then I'm going to take that up. If you wanted to put a paper clip in place, just so that it stays in position, doesn't slip. But I find you want to get that nice neat edge really on all 4 sides. And there we go, there is your box. And then put your lid on the top, and it goes on neatly. Then I'm going to put this around this lovely ribbon, and I only want to do a knot on this, so I'm going to cut it. Preferably sharp scissors, it's not very sharp, just to hold it in place. Now inside the box can go chocolates, and then what chocolates of your choice really, and again you're going to sort of put that on however you would like to put it on the glue on the lower part. And then that I'm going to put on with dimensionals, just to raise it up a little bit. And then that can tuck in. Wherever you like really, wherever you fancy. Don't know where I put mine there. Okay, can't see the heart though. Let me have a look. That's all right. So there we go. So that is your matching box that goes with your card. So that's the first 2 projects, and now this is probably the hardest bit, this split card. So as you can see with this, I have covered the back because it looks quite messy. So whatever you do cutting on the front, you do on the back of this white card, and then this is the inside. So let's open card number 3 packet and see what we have got. So you've got your card base, you've got your envelope. In your envelope will be all your little bits and pieces. So you should have 2 of these scalloped edges. You've got a few hearts again, and a couple of leaves. Now this is sweet sorbet gingham. Now with this, I've cut it all to size. Let me just scroll up and see what I need to do to cut this. Right, so let's put that there. Now this, the front of the card, is where you want your split, so it requires a little bit of measuring. So if you that's the front of your card. Now you're then going to get a little pencil and ruler, and from that score line to the middle you're going to make a little mark at 7, and then from the bottom to the top is a little score line at 5. On the tutorial, this is all on the tutorial. So on this side the measurement is 4, and then from the base to the middle is 8. So you end up with these score lines, and then you're going to cut diagonally across. So I then need to cut 2 lots of white, exactly the same, and I thought I had some white already cut, but I haven't. Never mind, I will cut it now. So that will be 10.5 by 14.9. As is the gingham. 10.5 by 14.9 is covering the whole of the front panel. And I need 2 lots of white, so 10.5. I'll explain what this is all about. So what you've got is, this is your front panel. You've then got an inside panel of white and another one of white, because you're going to cover up all of that. It will make sense once I've done it. Finding it difficult to explain it to you. So you need one of these and one of these, and we're going to cut them the same as what I've just done. So that has been cut to size, so again that will be 7, and then 5, and then this side is 4, and then this is 8. Same on this side. 4, 8. This is 7, and this is, what did I say, 5. 5. So you end up with all these sort of score lines here, and we are going to start cutting. So this is your front, the front flap. So you get that score line with that score line, with that little pencil mark and that pencil mark lined up in your trimmer, and you're going to be brave and cut, and then cut again with the other little pencil marks, line it up in your trimmer, cut. So that is what you end up with. So that's your front panel. You don't need that, get rid of that. You're going to do exactly the same with these two pieces. This is your white inside. Line that up in your trimmer with that pencil mark and cut. Cut. These are the papers you need. And then it's a bit more difficult to see, but you need to do exactly the same thing again. Take a bit more time on this one because it's sort of hard to see. I nearly went down to the wrong pencil line then. So we end up with all these bits of paper. Now also you then need to cut your acetate. So you can cut your acetate to the same, so 10.5. Do it this side actually. 14.9. By 10.5. Measurements you probably know off by heart now. So we're ready to assemble. We've got our acetate, we've got our front DSP, we've got our back DSP, we've got the front of our card, which has fallen on the floor. So there we go. So this is what we're going to end up with. Now the first thing I would do is put your acetate on. So your acetate you'll take, it's exactly the same size. So put that on first. There we go. And then this is the same size as your card, so you're then going to put that piece on to there. So just take your time. Oops, sorry, my hair's not coming in to shot. Now there we go. So you see you've got a bit of untidiness there, so you want to take that out. So that is what that is for. You need to play around with it a little bit because it will fit, but obviously it's different where you cut it. So you can do that, and then you can put your little frill on, and then you can see how it's going to build up. So let's do the back panels first. Now which side do I need to do that? It's hard to know sometimes. It'll be right if you need to fiddle around with it, probably if you haven't got the right shape. See, that is slightly coming through, but when you've got that down it won't show as much. You can trim all of this up once you've put it all together. Oh, coming to the end of that one. So let's get another one. going to go there. So then we're going to put this little border on. Now this is where I'm going to use my wet glue. I only want a slight little edge of glue here. No, not too much, just a little bit, otherwise it will all squidge out. And then it doesn't matter if it overlaps, just put it in position. And then the other one. You want that little peephole in the middle because you're going to see the sentiment there. And then when you're ready, cut it off. A bit neater than what I've done. Right, so there we go. That's your little split card. And then that is going to go on the top. Wrong glue. Oops. I would trim that in a minute, and then I need the top bit. Where's the top bit gone? It's fallen on the floor. Oh, there it is. See, I can't see it because it's green on that side. There we go. Got there. Goes on there like that. I'm just going to trim that up a little bit. You could put in your trimmer, might be better. There we go. Then, oops, make sure nothing's stuck down on there. Oh, now look what I've done. Might have to put something there to hide that. But basically, you get the idea. It's supposed to actually just make it look cleaner and neater. So then you've got this inside panel. Now again, I want to know where to stamp my sentiment here. So I would do exactly the same again. Get my pencil. Where is it? So my pencil is going to be, maybe the best thing to do is do the exact same there. That's 5. That is 4. And that's 8. I know roughly, I'm just going to lightly I I know roughly where I want to stamp. So then I am going to do Night of Baby again, I think, and then choose a sentiment. I'm going to put Happy Valentine's Day. Then I've done that. Got that done, out of the way. I think it's quite a nice colour. I'm going to put it to this side because I've got the hearts and things that side. There we go. Clean it off, put it back, close my stamp pad, pick up my mic, which has fallen down. Oops. I'm not making a racket. There we go. Right, then take all this off. Careful not to smudge anything. So that is then going to go on the inside. But I wanted to do this, show you this two-step stamping. So you get this one, this heart, and the other heart, this funny looking thing. So you've got two of these images. So you've got the flowers and you've got the leaves. So I would do the leaves first. So the colours that are in there are sweet sorbet and mint macaron I'm going to use. So use this one first. I'm just going to stamp that down. And that's all the leaves. And then I'm going to, this is the second step. So you've got to sort of adjust it so that you can see, these are photopolymer, so it's sort of handy to see where you're stamping, and then pop it down. And that is your two-step stamping. So then I'm going to put that on my back panel of the card. Do that with wet glue, I think. So pop that down onto here. There we go. And then it's building up your little card. So then I will pop this on with wet glue again. And then this one, I think, raised. And then these two, you get the idea, sort of sticking into the back part of this little image. And there. So there we go. This is the hardest card, I think, to do. But so that's our third card. So now we will do the shaker card. Shaker card is here. So opening our fourth envelope. We've got all the bits in here for that. And the shaker bits are in here. You've got these, and it's a case of assembling it really. So you've got your white A4 that is at the back, at the base of your box. So you'd get a white A4 and you would do your layering. So first layer will be 10 by, let me just look at my notes. Right, the first layer is white, so white is 10 by 14.4. So that is that layer. Then this layer, the DSP, is 13.9. 13.9 by 9.5. So that's that layer. And then I need a little back layer for this, which I have already done and stamped somewhere. I need an anniversary card as well. So, and then my acetate layer is slightly smaller, so it's 6.9. 6.9 by 6.9 square, that is. So that is going to layer onto there, but we need to raise it up a little bit. So first of all, let's layer these bits. Put my white on first. Let's get a little green border, 1/2 centimetre border, and then DSP. Glue's running out. There we go. So then with this layer, I'm going to stick that onto here. Silicone mat I need for this. So I'm going to put the acetate onto my blue frame, which will be slightly smaller than the rest of it. That's my little window. And then with this bit, that is the little shaker bits inside. I've got these little strips that I'm going to put along here. So let me just check that that fits. Yeah, you don't want the white border showing. So that is slightly going to go in there like that. And then you cut the excess off. This strip going to go there. And you're just creating the inner bit so that the little shaker bits can go inside. State of my scissors. You're trying to create no gaps, so nothing of the shaker bit can escape. You don't want gaps here and there, because all the little bits will just escape and go all over the place. And then take your little packet and you pop that in, however many you think. Now these little big ones, these bigger ones, sort of, they might be too big. See how you go. I found that I didn't use, these are slightly higher, these strips are slightly higher than the dimensionals. Yeah, slightly higher. So they might be okay. But the first card I did wasn't as high, the depth of it. So just take the strip bits off. And then place, let's see what I'm doing. Hopefully I'm in camera shot. And then you're going to put that frame bit on the top, and you need to create a good seal so the shaker doesn't go out, doesn't escape. Okay, so there we go. That is then going to stick onto there. If I've got enough glue, squeeze it all out, and that is going to go like that. There. So that's your shaker card. So there we go. Let's have a look at all our cards that we have done. There we go. So I hope you have enjoyed that and have fun making them. And if you've got any questions, just let me know. All right. Well, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. In the meantime, happy stamping, crafters.